Everyone, welcome back to Nitya Cloudtech. Hope all of you are doing good. In this video, we are going to discuss about append variable activity, which is one of the important activity of Azure Data Factory. Before watching this, I will strongly recommend you to watch my previous video on set variable activity. So let's start with the append variable activity. So append variable activity basically it add a value to an existing array variable defined in a data factory or Synapse analytics pipeline. So let me give you an example what actually it did. So suppose you have a list of files which you are getting on daily basis. In data warehousing, this is very common scenario where you get list of files. Okay, now you upload each file using for each loop activity. Okay, so now suppose you have to track what all files came. So for that, how you will basically monitor or how you will load in some place. So there is a way using append variable activity. So append variable activity first, it only holds the append variable activity. It only holds the array object. It does not hold the string object or boolean. It only holds the array object. So let's say you have received file 1, file 2 and file 3. So you can append one by one all of the files. Okay, so what we are going to do here, we are going to use multiple activity like get metadata activity first to check all the files, and then for each loop to iterate one by one, and then append variable, and after that set variable. Okay, so let me move into the Azure Data Factory where I will try to implement the same so that you can better understand. Okay. Let's create pipeline, new pipeline. So I can name this pipeline is append variable. Okay, I can minimize this so that you can see the space. Okay, now first take get metadata activity as I discussed in the scenario. So using get data activity, what we are gonna do, we are just like checking the metadata of the specific folder, like how many files of the file, the name of the files are there. The source. So this source basically is pointing to one of the source location where we have multiple files. Okay, so let me add the child items. So you can watch my previous videos related to get metadata activity too. Okay, now let's try to debug this first. What happened? So let me publish this first. Okay, now we can debug this. So after debugging this, you can see the total number of files and name of the files. It's taking a little while. So see, so child items, we have customer dimension, type file, dimension, and fact. So we have total 3 files. Okay. Now let's create another activity for each loop activity. which will iterate one by one all of these files. Before doing this, let's create first variable, array type variable. So I'm into the pipeline canvas and click on variable, new, can say name, and array, or I can say file location or file name, anything we can say. So this is the array. Okay, now let me take for each loop activity, map this for each loop activity to get data, and you can give any name and description and setting, and I need to pass the item. So my item is basically get metadata activity dot child items. So I'm passing this item so that it will get one by one all the files. It will iterate one by one all the files. Now under for each loop activity, let me take the append variable. Okay. Now same here, we have like name or description, we can do whatever. And in the variable section, see here, read this line, disclaimer. Append variable only support adding to array type variable. So you can basically remind this. This is very useful. And now if you remember, I have created one variable that is array types file location. Okay. Now I'm passing value. So my output is coming from the for each loop item, and I want name of file. So I can say here item.name. Okay. Now let me publish this and run this. Okay, so it is taking some time to publish. Yeah, it's published now. Debug. So it's running now. So in this, after debugging, basically you can check the flow in the result set one by one. So it's again taking a while. Let's wait. So see, first metadata activity then. So it returns these three files, which I have already showed you. After that, for each loop run, it returns count 3, and then see 3 times this append variable run. First for dimension, and second for fact, and third for fact dimension, another customer dimension. Now if I need to show all these value in a one variable, so what I can do, I can use set variable activity, and I can create another variable. So let me create this. I can go here in the pipeline. Okay, report canvas, and in variable I can create name file details, let's say, and again I'm going to take array type only. Okay, now let me create one set variable where I will set all these. So this is another example of set variable also. Okay, I'll click on set variable, and my variable name is file details, and value. So value basically I'm getting from file location. So I can put here file location. Okay, let me publish this. Okay, it's published. Now we can debug and show. I can show you after debug or run this, executed this pipeline. So if you see this append variable, basically it is appending variable one by one in set variable too. So if you see first time, you will see fact and customer dimension. Okay. And second time, fact and customer. And last time you can see all the details of file. Okay. So I hope this video would be helpful. Thank you everyone.